We are recording.
All right. Hello, everybody. It's David Knox coming to you live on Monday, July 10th, 2017, our first Monday Administrator and Manager webinar. And the first thing you see is our new logo. We've been working, and some of you have contributed your ideas. We're redesigning our entire look of everything. We're going to rechange the icons and all kinds of stuff. So we want to modernize it, update, and we want to have a connection between what people see online and what they see on the mobile app. And I'm going to ask you for some more input on our website as well. So welcome to First Monday. Put on your calendar that the next First Monday would be July 31, 2017. And the reason for that is because the first Tuesday is August 1, and that's when all the new videos will be out. So put down July 31. Today we'll talk about the July 27 videos, a little bit on the accountability plan update, and then we have our guest presenter, Dean Cottrill. So let's begin. This is the email that we send to all of you at the beginning of the month. And at the last minute of sending this out, I said, hey, let's put our new agent flyer on it. And then after I sent it out, I realized the error of my ways, because these gold buttons down on the bottom are really for you, not your agents. Now, it's no big deal if they click on it and download the flyer, but yeah, that was my mistake. I apologize for that. I thought I was being cool by doing two stones with one bird, so to speak. But anyway, so for this email, before you forward it to your agents, if you haven't already, maybe delete those bottom two buttons and send it out. But we've had some people say, you know, what do I do with this email? The answer is forward it to your agents in a broadcast. They're more likely to open it when it comes from one of your domains. So that's our monthly promotional email. And I want to report something. A lady called me up and said that, you know, she'd been watching videos, but it didn't show up. And I said, are you watching online or mobile? She said, well, mostly mobile. And we did a check, and I am sorry, but somehow the mobile app disconnected from the API in our system, and the mobile views were not reporting recently. And unfortunately, we don't know for how long that was. So it's too bad, because I know we all measure the success of this program by views, but it looks like there was some period, weeks, where that may not have been happening. Speaking of the two orange buttons, the purpose of them was to download our new agent flyer. We've had a lot of requests for simple ways to do internal promotion to your agents. So I'm going to, let's see, how should I best show this to you? On the desktop is the Knox flyer, and it says in the title June, and I realize I misled people to believe that, well, that meant June videos. No, it just meant we released it in June. So when you download the flyer, it'll say Knox Training Agent Flyer, June 2017. And again, that's the release date, not the June videos. And then when you click and drag and open it in Adobe DC, where it's an editor. Now, again, this is a key point. There's a difference between just an Adobe Reader or Preview or things like that. But when you open this flyer in a PDF editing software, then you guys can make it your own. And I'll just show you very quickly how you do it. Up in the top is the area for the logo. So when you click on that, it'll open a dialog box. You can click Browse. And in this case, I'll go to the desktop, and let's see, I'll just use my own logo for now. And we enter that. Then in the blue area, you can write a headline. So you can put all that in, and then you save it. And now you've got a flyer that you can send to everybody in your company. So that was the idea behind that. If you have any questions, there's a tutorial that also came along in that email, and it's also in our manager resources area. So let me take you to that. If you go to Manager Resources, you will see our Knox Agent Flyer for customization. So you can download that here. And this is the training tutorial that shows you exactly how to do what I did. But the idea is that you can email this flyer out to everybody and promote the training. And you'll also notice that there are hyperlinks in here. So when your agents click on KFT 78, for example, it'll take them right to that page. Let me go back again and demonstrate it. Oh, where did the flyer go? Where did it go? Click on it again. So when you send this flyer to your agents, we have 3 videos we suggest for new, rising star, and top producers. So a rising star might go down and say, hey, I want to see what Venus Morris Griffin did. So when you click on that, it'll go right to the video that was in there. And I hope that helps you guys in promoting the training. Next, okay, what do we do for July 27? The videos we uploaded this month, I think, are some of the best ever. I say that every month because we keep getting better. But what's new for July? We always have that video that demonstrates the new videos. KFT 111, Get Motivated, Get Help. After watching and editing Venus Morris Griffin this year, I just said, you know, what everybody wants to know, what is it that she does that's so cool? And obviously there's a lot of things. And she's sharp, she's educated, she is endearing to her customers and clients, she's professional, she has a team. But a couple of things that stood out. Number one, the force of will, the absolute commitment to succeeding in this business was a huge plus that stood out for her. And number two, and I think this is important for other agents to understand, is that she does not do it alone. She gets help, absolutely gets help. In fact, Betty Surrency, you work with her. I'm going to unmute you for a second. And can you hear me, Betty?
I can.
I didn't even tell you I was going to do this, but since she's in your company, do you have anything to add regarding Venus?
Your comment just then in that she doesn't do it alone is absolutely true. She is having a major change in her organization because people's lives, her staff has changed with family dynamics. So I currently have 4 attending various training that I'm doing right now. So they're always in a continual learning mode and open to suggestions. You know, how can we do it better? So, and she does it right.
Yeah, she's the real deal, isn't she?
Yes.
Good. Well, thanks for that, Betty. I'll mute you again so you have that privacy. Real Estate Live number 29-6. We continue the last of the 6-part series where she talks about balance and motivation. And after you hear what she does to earn $1 million or more in gross commission income, people say, yeah, but does she have a life, you know? And the answer is, yes, she does. She's got a very good life. And you will meet in the icon there, you can see that's her husband. We sat down with Venus and her husband, just said, hey, you know, talk to us, what's going on? And they were very open and honest that, yeah, it's a challenge to manage a business, you know, 100 listings and 100 sales and 7 children, et cetera. But then in RL 30, Real Estate Live 30, parts 1 and 2, we've had some really good comments on that, because people really, really appreciate the direct feedback that they hear that they can use on that. Let's see. I've talked about this. This is the summary, you know, agents, do I have a life? And in 30-1, she talks about the people. In 30-2, she talks about the process. And the comments that we're getting on that is this: I like these videos because they tell me exactly what I can do. And here they are, the KFT 110. We got some really good feedback there on building your team. What I like about this video, each member knows the value of their work, etc. So you can log in and take a look at some of those. Oh, one of the questions, by the way, I didn't post the answer. Somebody posted, why has Venus not hired more licensed assistants to help her out? And her answer is, and this may be one of the best answers I've ever heard. She said, you know, I'm just fine at $1.2 million a year in gross commission income. How many people you know that say, you know what, I think I'm just going to keep my income at $1.2 million. I don't need to make any more than that. But she said, she texted that to me with just a straight answer. So just some powerful videos this month. The other thing that I want you guys to know, the accountability plans, the good news is we have them, but the challenge is they are static. Once you create an accountability plan in your company, you've taken a snapshot of the template that was available at the time. In the meantime, we add more videos, and they don't go into your accountability plan because obviously we're not going to go in and mess with your plans. But I want you to know that the videos we uploaded this month, KFT 111 and RL 30, they should go into your Rising Star Action Plan in the section Time for Assistance. So if you need help doing that, give us a call. But just so you know, those 3 new videos should go there. Next, Sarah Roberts with Roberts Brothers Realty, who will be subscribing to our training next few days here, is also a graphic designer. And I just said, Sarah, you know, you're in the real estate industry, you're going to be subscribing to our training. Draw up what you would like the website to look like. So this is a real rough, you know, sketch, but very, very different than the layout we now have. And she saw having little colored icons and buttons for the different series, and kind of that top area, put a search box in it. The middle two logos we wouldn't have because that doesn't apply to any of you guys. And by the way, no politics, no advertising. That should be another benefit that we present on our training. And then she showed kind of a film strip down here and some more icons. So if you look up close, she wanted more button oriented, and down on the bottom icon oriented. And the reason I show this to you is because we are getting ready to start with a clean white sheet of paper and take our entire user interface and start over. So this is a very, very, very important, sincere request for feedback from all of you. So for those of you listening live on the recording, I want to hear from you. What functionality, I don't even know what questions to ask you, but anything to get your brain thinking. What functionality would you like to see improved? How would you like to see the videos laid out? Right now it's a list, and some people have said to me that, it's really overwhelming. You got all this curriculum and buttons and this and that. We are absolutely wide open to your suggestions. And by the way, if you want to take a pencil and sketch it out on a piece of white paper and take a picture and send it to me, whatever, we are open to your suggestions. Now is your chance to build your own site. One of the requests I know we've had is to be able to have a CSS, a template that you can change all the colors in the site. So we're considering doing a 2-color thing. So if your company colors are blue and yellow, that you can make the site look that way. So any suggestions that you have, in fact, if you can think of anything right now that comes to mind while in the webinar, just please type it down to the questions area and I'll take a look at that. But this is your opportunity to build this site the way you'd like. The Skype, I've been talking over and over and over forever and ever and ever and ever to bring me in on a Skype, and I finally got Aaron Jarenev, who works for me, I said, call everybody in our site. Just give everybody a call, tell them to Skype me in. And we've done a lot of them. I've been doing 4 or 5 a day over the last few weeks, and they are a ball. I love them. The audience loves them. This is Lori Reese. And to her credit, man, she has the camera laid out in high definition. She's got it framed right. She is in the front row cheering it on. And we had a wonderful session. So, but we're also finding out that people are kind of scared of Skype. They don't know how to use it. So I did a Skype tutorial. By the way, and this is Chris Rader. Again, she brought me into the office, and afterwards she took the photo. We did a screenshot and I sent it to her, and she put it on her Facebook page and posted it. And the agents wrote some lovely comments, and it was really, really fun to see that. So she posted on Facebook, so she gets residual usage out of it. So we do have, in fact, I finished it yesterday. It's not even 24 hours old yet, but I have a Skype tutorial. And you can go to the manager resources and go right to the Skype tutorial. And let me see. In fact, here it is. I created Microsoft Word, a very simple thing, but you can scroll through and it shows how to download Skype and create an account and how to add contacts where you would add me. It shows, simple diagram to have the camera and or laptop underneath the flat screen, how to call, all the different buttons, talking about resolution and, high res, low res, talk about lighting and framing, and an example of, bad lighting, bad framing, good lighting, good framing, and some of the post promotions. So I encourage you again, if you want help on, how to work with Skype, give us a call. We'll help you out with it. And I can do a test Skype prior to the real one, but it really improves the usage of the videos, and it's a great way to get your agents off their aspirations and doing listing. So now I am ready to introduce Dean Cottrill. I've known Dean for, gosh, I don't know, you can have to help me in a minute on that, but I'm sure about 4 years. And Dean was a past president of Coldwell Banker out on the East Coast with Baltimore and Washington Mid-Atlantic, and 4,000 sales associates, 66 offices. You're talking about a guy who's had some serious experience in leading a huge company. Dean fits into that. And I am excited to have him with us today. And he's going to take us through his presentation. And I know you saw a lot of his background and what we set out. But if you guys are ready, Dean, maybe you can unmute yourself. And then I'm going to make you a presenter so we can go to you.
I'm unmuted. Thank you, David.
Yeah, just a second. I gotta make sure we pass this to you. Make presenter. Okay, you can take the screen. And fire up your program. Hey, there you are. Okay, hit play and we're ready to go. So anyway, Dean, how are you?
I'm good, David. I'm doing really well. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, thank you for participating. We've got a lot of people here live, and obviously we'll get more on the replay of the recording. But tell us, add anything else that you would like to your bio. They've seen the printed one, but anything else you'd like to add, please feel free to do that first, and then we'll get rolling.
Sure. It's good to talk to everybody. And I actually started right out of college in real estate. I had an accounting degree, and accounting wasn't for me. So I went into a night class, got a real estate license, sold for about 7.5 years, did that well, and moved into leadership management and managed for several of the largest companies in the country. And I ended with NRT under the Coldwell Banker brand, and was president for a company for a long time. And then then I oversaw operations in Georgia, the Carolinas, and the Mid-Atlantic prior to me moving away and stepping down and starting my consulting business and doing what I'm doing now. So that's kind of a little short synopsis. And one of the things I am thinking about today and what I'd like to convey to those that are on the call and how I maybe be able to positively impact you and your business is in my journey over the 27 years and my whole life, frankly, I've come to know later in the years to really look at success, not just in making money, but also in being happy. You can find people that actually make a lot of money, but they're not happy. And you find people who are happy, don't have any money. So I was looking for someone who's really happy and making lots of money in the process, because we know as you work hard out there, stress comes about, and if you can be happy in that process, I think that's something to shoot for. And I find that the best form of leadership, in my experience, is to lead by example. And so that was something I was constantly seeking out individuals out there, not only in the real estate world, but in any world, frankly, in business and life that were successful, both in monetary form and also in their lifestyle and being happy in what they did. So with that, I'm going to share with you a couple things I'm going to go through that I've picked up, some things that I implement in my life and are continue to try to do the best I can in this process. So let's go ahead and jump in. And at the end, possibly, I don't know if you'll have time for questions. My contact information is going to be at the end, and also it's available to you. So you can reach out to me individually if you have any questions, or I can help you in any way. I love this quote by Jim Rohn. I want to start with it. And it is, your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development, because success is something you attract by the person you become. And I believe that to be very true. The higher level of confidence and competence that you achieve, you will be more magnetic, and you will attract top talent in real estate, and you also will attract good things. Success leaves clues. And that's a constant line that I would use and continue to use. You look for patterns in successful people. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Look at what they do, how they act, what actions in our routines do they feel are important, etc. Years ago, I used to have in our basement of my home growing up with my mom and dad, and I have 3 brothers, we had the Encyclopedia Britannicas in the basement. And I probably can count maybe on both hands how many times I actually opened up one, but it was always the sense of having them there. You had that knowledge. Well, today, as we all know, knowledge is at our fingertips. We have the ability to learn so much if we take an active interest to do that. YouTube is a great example. And also David, in just his presentation at the beginning of this, in his video library that I actively in the company I used to oversee continues to use and is of great value. There's so much knowledge, but you got to have the effort, put the effort forward to do that. I'm also going to share with you on Success Leaves Clues, because one of the challenges you're going to find as you continue to pursue happiness and success and all the things that we're talking about, that you might find that there'll be challenges both from friends and family and your peers. So I want to read you something real quick, just a short little outtake of The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And I found this book to be fantastic, so I do recommend it. But chapter 3, page 19, he has something called the 95% reality check. And let me just read you an excerpt of this. Approximately 95% of our society settles for far less than what they want in life, wishing they had more, living with regret, and never understanding that they could be, do, and have all that they want. According to the Social Security Administration, if you take any 100 people at the start of their working careers and follow them for the next 40 years until they reach retirement age, here's what you'll find. Only 1 will be wealthy, 4 will be financially secure, 5 will continue working, not because they want to, because they have to. 36 will be dead, and 54 will be broke and dependent on friends, family, relatives, and the government to take care of them. Monetarily speaking, that's only 5% of us who will be successful in creating a life of freedom, and 95% who will continue to struggle their entire lives. So the crucial question, the one we must explore and find the answer to, is this: what can we do now to ensure that we don't end up struggling like the 95% majority will? I share that with you again because as you head down that path and do things, there's a high percentage of people that don't want you to change. They're going to want to hold you back. So realize that as you move down this path. Realize that you are, all right, so I want to take a step back. I'm smiling as I read this here. So let's take a step back from yourself and look at yourself from like a 10,000 foot level and realize that we have all been programmed. So authority figures in your life, parents, teachers, coaches, etc. They've all said things to us, done something that has burned into our minds, and we have lived to those false realities, those false beliefs. And we've come up with lines now. We say, I can't, that's impossible. I'm not good at that. Never, always, are lines and words that we use. I'm going to use a personal example to illuminate this point, and that is my ex-wife, when she was growing up, her father used to help her with math, and unfortunately, several times he got very upset with her understanding of math and made comments like she was stupid and things like that. And as you can, I'm sure most of you just cringed when you hear that, as I did. And unfortunately, that planted a seed in her mind, and she was programmed to think that she was stupid when it came to math. Now here comes our daughter, who's now 21, Olivia, and when she was in elementary school and starting to go through and having some little challenges here and there with math, and who doesn't? I'm actually an accounting major, and I had some challenges with math as well. But unfortunately, that programming that was in my ex-wife started to move itself into my daughter, and that was something, of course, I didn't want to see, and and addressed it at the time. So I ask that you think about yourself in your life and things that have happened to you. Everyone's been on their own journey, but what has happened in your life that's programmed you? What things have been said to you from authority figures in your life that have basically put walls up or limited where you can go or how far you can go because of something that was said to you so many years ago? One of the ways you can look to change this is you can replace the can't, I can't do this, I never am able to do that, I always do this, or that always happens, is go with the word sometimes. Sometimes, for example, if you are currently, I can't recruit because this area is whatever, fill in the blank. I can't recruit because my office is whatever. I can't recruit because my agents are, fill in the blank again. Well, if you go slowly into, some people are challenged, or those who own companies and working with managers and leaders of offices, have them move into, I sometimes have challenges recruiting because this area has a limited number of agents. I sometimes have challenges because my office currently is in a very bad location, or whatever that word is, or that instance is. But then quickly you want to move them into, I can recruit, and get away from the can't or even sometimes, and have that positive mindset. They can do whatever they want to do. You are a magnet. Everything in your life you have attracted to you. So the good, the bad, everything. Oh, sorry. Take complete ownership of this fact. And this is a big point. You are not a victim of anything, anyone, or anything. And sometimes catch yourself. I can't do this because of this or that. Take complete ownership. Whatever is going on, there are circumstances in life and in work and business, I understand, that make it challenging or very challenging or maybe even impossible to do something one way or another, but there's always a solution. So you look at it not like I can't do something. You can do it. You just can't do it the way you currently thought. So you just rethink your next steps and you head in another direction potentially, but the ultimate goal is still the ultimate goal. Realize that you are changing every day. Embrace the change. And really what you want to do is speed it up. Some people are fearful of change. I want to hold on to the status quo. And as we know, everything's changing. Weather's changing, life, the planets are moving, we're moving around the solar system. Everything's changing all the time. And if you look at the change as a positive, and then you want to, frankly, once you start getting into the mindset, you want to speed up the change because you realize as you have more experiences in life, that becomes a better platform or foundation for you to launch your life off into whatever direction you want to go. Own everything. You're not a victim. Just want to reiterate that. Own everything that goes on in your life. And you'll watch it and hear that. You'll hear people you work with, even hear yourself sometimes. You start headed down the excuse path and you want to catch yourself. No outside forces can stop you. It's your choice who you are, who you become, except that you control your thoughts. That's the critical piece right here on all this, is you control your thoughts. Feelings do not control your thoughts. Your thoughts bring about a focus. You then put a meaning to what you're focused on, and then you attach feelings to the meaning. I don't want to get too deep on all that, and that sentence is kind of deep. But my whole point is that feelings don't bring about your actions. Your thoughts bring about your actions, right? And we know in offices and companies and life, when drama goes up, IQs go down. And that's why you want to stay drama-free or very low on the drama meter and keep your thoughts to yourself and know what you're doing and where you're going, because you're controlling your thoughts and you're not allowing emotions to tell you what to do or what to say. 10% of our thoughts are conscious thoughts. 90% of those thoughts are subconscious or unconscious. And it's scary, huh? And I encourage you to stay conscious. And this is the average percentages. Who wants to be average? So increase your percentages. One of the ways that I've learned, and I do myself, is by asking myself, how am I feeling right now? In other words, if I start daydreaming or my mind starts going off somewhere, I pull myself back to a conscious thought. How am I feeling right now? Well, I'm feeling pretty damn good. And so that brought us back to the minute, right to where I am. And then I'm aware, I'm conscious in what I'm thinking. And I want to increase that 10% number in me personally to a much higher number. And that's a way you can do it. Confidence. All right, so this is something, confidence is a habit. And one of the things that I'd like for you all to think about is something you personally are very confident about in your life. Whatever it is, I'm sure there's something that you do that you just know inside and out, and you are so confident. And on a scale of 1 to 10, you put yourself at a real high 10. You just own it, all right? And one of the things that we want to do in leadership is help the sales associates and sales professionals, and if you run a company, help the managers, help them increase the level of confidence they have in the things that they do, not only in the business side, but also personal side. So you see their thoughts, actions, results. And I have underneath that TAR for short, way to easily remember it. But you want to think about the thoughts that you have, because thoughts bring about actions, and then the actions have results. And the results then reinforce your thoughts. So let's take an example, or use an example. Let's take a golfer. A golfer is very confident, professional golfer. He's in a groove, feeling great. So his thoughts are, he's very confident. He stands over that golf ball on that tee box, and he knows, I'm going to hit this ball and it's going to be in the fairway. And that's his thoughts. And he's mentally right there. His actions in the swing result in the ball being right where he wanted it. And that reinforces his thoughts that he's a good, very good golfer. Now let's take a professional golfer and let's say he hits a bad shot. He hooks it into the trees. Well, the best golfers are the ones that can let that go, because we all have things in our life that happen, and we all hook something or a thought or a comment or do something that's just not in our shouldn't have done it. And that happens, and you've got to let it go, and then bring your mind back to where you are in that confidence, thoughts, actions, and results. Recruiting is a great example. And the way that I would encourage you to work with your agents, if you're a manager, and then if you're an owner, work with your or regional and that level, work with your managers, is ask them to put it on a scale 1 to 10, how they rate themselves. For example, in recruiting or training and coaching, or as a leader. And you can get into the personal side with this too, on the coaching side, as a mom, as a dad, as a brother, a sister. How do you rate yourself? And it's one of the things I encourage you to do for yourself. Think about, how am I? Am I a great recruiter? We'll know, for example, some agents, some managers, they'll rank themselves at a 6, or 5 or 10 or whatever number they rate themselves at. Most of the times, what I would ask managers I work with is, give me a scale 1 to 10 on your recruiting. How confident do you feel about recruiting the top best agent in this area, or any agent? And someone would say, I rate myself at whatever number, 5, 6, 7. I said, well, what will it take to get you to a 10? And that would be a good question, because that allows them to think about and tell me and tell you what it is they need to do, or they think they need to do, to get to that level. Because many of them have that ability. They just, again, going back to the thoughts, actions, and results, they're stuck in their own thoughts, and they're thinking they can't do something. And that goes into being programmed. They have programmed themselves that they can't reach out to the top agents, the top teams, because of this reason or that reason. And that's where you can help eliminate those thoughts and help them work through that. And it ties into the last bullet I have there, is self-talk. Self-talk, we're always talking to ourselves. It's not just crazy people. We all talk to ourselves. And one of the things that I encourage you to do is to really control your self-talk. And that's through affirmations. You want to affirm and talk to yourself about what you're good at and what you're great at. And another thing to think about is put out there in your affirmations, if you fake it until you make it. We've all heard that. Sometimes you put out there things that you're not great at right now, but you want to say and state that you're great. You want to get your thoughts moving in an upward direction, thinking that you're better than what you are, because that'll bring about better, more actions toward that, and you'll get better results that will increase those thoughts. You will allow others to treat, and one other comment on this, on the self-talk, and one thing to know in a leadership position is you will allow others to treat you at the same level you treat yourself. So when you improve your self-image, you will basically improve how people treat you, because you improve how you treat yourself, then you won't allow people to treat you any differently. And one other little side note is, look at yourself with kind eyes. That was in a Maxwell Maltz psycho-cybernetics book that I thought was an excellent idea. Kind eyes. We're so critical of ourselves sometimes, and we beat ourselves up. Well, you need to look at yourself with kind eyes. There is no failure, and laugh at yourself. And when I learned to start laughing at myself, that really, I think, had a lot to do with me feeling better about myself, more confident, and then helped me move up the ladder into higher leadership positions and help support and grow more agents and more managers in regional businesses. So I encourage you to do the same. Positive attitude, critical. I love this quote. So a positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst, and it sparks extraordinary results. Wade Boggs. You think about this. Do you want to be around negative, miserable, moody people? No one does. So look at yourself. Are you ever acting that way? Negative? Are you miserable to be around sometimes, or moody? You control all those things. So take control of those. Be positive, and you'll find that you will attract more positive things and positive people into your life. One of the ways you can go about it, and I had a little fun with this slide, I've already decided 2017 is going to be ridiculously amazing. And that's me on the sailboat out in the Chesapeake Bay, back when we had took the managers out for a little cruise a couple years ago. And I encourage you to put pictures like this up around your office and around your whole office. If you're running a sales office, put it around every place. Let it be known that this is the kind of attitude that you have and that you want, And that'll tie into also that what you don't want and won't accept if people act differently. I'm just reading my notes real quick. I want to make sure I don't forget anything here. Office for all to see. Right. So put that all around your office and just have some fun with it, as I did with this one here. Success, as I shared in the very beginning, equals happiness. To me, that's my why. My why factor is I want to be happy. That's the ultimate journey goal for me, is, and I think it's for everyone, frankly, is to be happy. Some people feel that, once they get that really nice new car, that new boat, the house, make more money, get a promotion, or whatever it might be, recruit X number of agents. Once I achieve these things, I will be happy. Well, that's not correct, because that'll be, once you achieve any one of those things, then it's going to be something else that you're going to want, or somebody that you work with is going to want. So really the ultimate is to be happy now, and all the things that you want will come to you. It's a decision. And again, lead by example. So you lead by example, start being happy every day, being positive every day, and knowing that it's a choice, and that'll help show others that they can do the same. One of the ways that I encourage you to do this is to have a morning routine. Start every day off in the right direction. Affirmations, as I mentioned earlier, these are positive thoughts about yourself, your self-talk. I'm so happy and grateful. This is one of the lines that actually probably some of you have ever heard of The Secret. I took from The Secret, and I love it. So I'm so happy and grateful now that I am, and then fill in the blank. And again, fake it till you make it. So sometimes you want to say that whatever, I'm the best recruiter in the world. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am so confident. I'm so happy and grateful now that when I stand up in front of my office, I'm able to communicate and communicate information to them in a very understanding and positive and motivational way. Things like that. You want to create and make statements that help a mindset, get those thoughts in the right place again, that end up creating actions and then results that are going to help improve that person. Consistently improve your self-image. It'll bring more confidence to you. And again, confidence is a habit. So you have to continue to, and confidence builds more confidence. So keep putting yourself in that place and others. Don't be a fair weather friend to yourself. I know this isn't on the PowerPoint, I'm just on my notes. Don't be a fair weather friend to yourself. And again, going back, laugh at yourself. Successes, review them often, stay in a positive mindset. One of the things I encourage you to do is actually think about all the things that you've had success with in your life. Go back to, when you were little and all the way up, and write them down. Too many times we beat ourselves up. We don't see positive things. We don't talk about. We see the negative things, and we start focusing on all the negatives, and it becomes overwhelming, and you end up becoming negative because of it. So surround yourself. And in the morning, I encourage you to look at your successes as you get your mind in the right positive place. Look at all the things that you've done extremely well. Very positive outcomes have come from things that you've taken, actions that you've taken, decisions that you've made, somewhat how you've impacted people's lives, things like that. Write them all down and then review them and look at them often. And that'll help you stay in that mindset. Meditation. Meditation is control. It's where you control your thoughts. I never meditated up until a few years ago, and really there's two forms. You can we talk about meditation where you just do it on yourself and kind of focus on whatever you want to focus on. And I do guided meditation. It's better and easier for me. There's a Deepak Chopra guided meditation I listen to quite a bit on YouTube every morning. It puts me in a nice mindset, and I encourage you to do the same. Again, this is that morning routine. Visualization. Our body does not know the difference. It has powerful benefits. And I want to share with you something on visualization that I read from another book. Olympic gold medalist, high diver Greg Louganis rehearsed his dives 40 times in his mind prior to doing his dive. Isn't that crazy? That's incredible. Jack Nicklaus rehearsed each swing shot in his mind prior to swinging the club. He would see the ball's flight, where it would land, etc. He envisioned all of this prior to actually swinging the club. Visualization was tested by NASA and then brought into training for the Olympics years ago. They hooked up athletes to electrodes and had them perform their event completely in their minds. The results showed that their muscles fired exactly in the same order and sequence compared to when they actually did perform their event. In other words, our bodies don't know whether it's real or imaginary when you visualize. Use visualization to perfect performance in all areas of your life. Going back to focus, if you are not focused on what you're doing completely, your performance will fall short. Peak performers are able to be present and completely focused on the task at hand. Challenges or setbacks. You always have to look at, I don't say failures, challenges or setbacks. They're all opportunities to learn and grow. There's no such thing as failure. So have that mindset. Something happens, you know what, that just proves that whatever that you're doing, that plan wasn't the right plan, and then do another one. And that's where actually you look in your life, and when you had the biggest challenges in your personal life or professional life, that's when you grow the most, because it really knocks you out of that rut or that groove that you put yourself in, and you have to look at things differently, and you end up growing because now the more experiences have come to you, and you're then able to be a better leader. Depressed, think about all that you're grateful for. So if you ever feel like I'm down, I'm blue, I'm not happy, think about all you're grateful for, because to being depressed, just think about lack of, I don't have this, or something's happened, and you know, whatever it might have brought about that feeling. Think about all that you're grateful for, and it quickly moves your mind into a positive mindset, and one of wealth, and wealth being that you have lots of things in your life that you should be and need to be grateful for. And forgive others and yourself. Again, look at yourself with kind eyes, like I mentioned before. One of the things I'll throw out on this slide is, and a great example of this, that a lot of people don't do a morning routine. You look at some of the most successful people, as I shared in the beginning, they do morning routines. They do affirmations. They look and think about their successes. They do visualization. They do all these things. But it's a great example to show that when people do this, how successful they become. And the most efficient day for most people is the day before vacation. And I just say that with a smile, because it's probably it's cute, because what ends up happening, if you think about it, in 2 days I'm going on vacation. So tomorrow I need to do A, B, and C. And so then we think about, and then most people then write them down. All right, I need to do this, this, and this. And then they visualize and say, well, I got to go here first because that's more convenient. And this place doesn't open until that time, so I'll go there second. And then I'll end up over here, and then I'll be most convenient and efficient in my time. So that ends up being the best efficient day for most people, is the day before vacation. And they also go into it, most of them, with a very positive attitude because they know they're going on vacation. And imagine if you go into every day of your life with that mindset, basically positive mindset, and you put your mind in the right place, as we just shared with you on this morning routine kind of slide here. And remember, people don't drive you crazy. Here's a couple quotes I like. People can't drive you crazy if you don't give them your keys. And if you're depressed, you're living in the past. And if you're anxious, you are living in the future. And if you're at peace, you're living in the present. It's a great quote. Here's a summary here, kind of wrap it up. And I didn't mention this earlier, but I say keep Pam, like the non-stick cooking spray, on you at all times. You don't want negative people, negative thoughts, negative looks. Agent comes in, they're upset about whatever. Don't let it stick to you at all. You know, other people say like a duck's back, let water roll off you like a duck's back. Whatever works for you as an analogy, run with it. Stay positive. It's your choice. TAR, thoughts, action, results. Put yourself in that mindset that your thoughts, see yourself as being that ultimate fantastic whatever you're thinking about or want to achieve, and that'll increase your actions in that direction, and the results reinforce additional and better thoughts. And push yourself each day through these actions and through these ways to be the best you can be. Cheers. So David, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity, and I thank everybody. I know how busy everybody is for the time to listen.
Oh, thanks very much, Dean. You know, and I think for me, I find it refreshing because so often everything's talking about technology and things like that. And I think getting back to the human brain and the emotion, you know, self-image psychology is a powerful way to program the brain. So I'm so happy that you brought that back. And I think for people listening, obviously apply it to themselves, but they can also apply it and be the one. You can't control your agent's behavior necessarily, but you can control their thoughts, and that one comes out of that. And when you mentioned Jim Rohn, I just had to do a quick search and find the picture. I was fortunate enough to share the stage with him a few years back and have dinner with him, and he's probably one of the more amazing mentors I've ever had. So thanks for sharing that. And well, that was great. I appreciate it, Dean, and I know everybody did as well. So if anybody wants to just type in a thanks to Dean, I'm sure he would appreciate that. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the recording, and thank you all for joining me today. And for those of you who want to Skype me in, be sure to give me a call or email, and we'll set that up. And if you want help on the Skype tutorial or the PDF for the Agent Flyer, we're glad to help you with that as well. So Rob, if you want to go ahead and stop the recording, I'm going to stay on, just see if anybody else has any questions.